It's 61 degrees outside.
61 degrees, so that means we have hot coffee.
Well, you do.
We changed to hot. Thank you guys for the guys that send Starbucks cards. We do put them to good use. So we're starting today with something a little different. So we got this Craftsman tractor. Actually, no, the job is today is to make these leaves go away. So no, the job is today is this car. Customer wants to install a couple of parts to it, go over it. We'll show you that as we go. This might look a little familiar to some. Customers supplied this titanium exhaust by Tomy, however you pronounce it. One thing, there is a crack right here. This is titanium, so we have experience in titanium. We build a lot of this stuff, so we're gonna have to clean this inside and out, back purge it, repair that crack, and install that. This obviously is gonna be a huge weight reduction from the factory exhaust, not to mention should make a little bit of power as well. Definitely sounds better.
Oh yeah.
How's it feel?
You should drive it.
Really?
It's a lot better.
So you maybe want one?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's talk about the shifter real quick. You're the first one to drive that shifter. What does it feel like?
Yeah, that's getting rid of all these guys, the stock ones, and putting those in, and like you can see that centers, like it's stiffer to center.
Yeah. So it picked up quite a bit. New exhaust, a little bit of tweaking. Shifter's definitely better. I like that much better, so I'm going to do a quick one-hand run. How about that? That way you can get a quick sound clip and kind of a perspective. That's a nice thing about having so much power. Second gear look. That's exactly what this car needs, is just a little bit more power. And this is coming from driving an S2000 for 2,000 miles, which is really good for me to get that perspective. I knew it needed more power. But just having the power on tap without having to, you know, rev the thing to the moon to make it go. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, that's sometimes the fun of having a VTEC engine. But immediate power and not waiting for it. I mean, over 300 foot-pounds of torque at 4,000 RPMs makes it feel like a completely different animal. It really does. And that was by pulling some torque out. As we turn the boost up, it made more torque than we wanted it to, so we actually pulled some power out of it, just on the bottom. But just immediate power. This is terrific. Yikes. This thing just rips. The customer is gonna love this thing. A lot of difference. You guys know this road by now, right? I always try and give you like a direction to where we are. Second gear. There's George. This thing definitely gets it.
Yeah, it's pretty great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's night and day. Absolutely night and day. And the shifter is great. I love it. Good morning. Another S2000. So this is here for a clutch, and he said he has an oil leak somewhere, and I'm just looking at this. The engine bay just looks, you know, a little ratty. The valve cover looks like it's seen better days. This is somewhat common. The washer bottle, see how it kind of dry rots? I mean, it turns to like, look at this. You could grind that up, put that in your cereal. It's just what they do. We have some of these in stock. We see it a lot. Just talked to this customer, super excited to meet us, and it just makes, it's kind of like it gives you a high. I know it sounds crazy. When somebody is excited to see you and they're excited to spend their money with you, it's reassurance that you're doing something right, but it also makes you want to do better. I've said this before, and I hope you guys take it the right way. This isn't something where I'm patting myself on the back. This is kind of something that I'm telling you to do. If you're in a business, sometimes give something away. If it doesn't cost you anything, you're giving your time, it'll come back tenfold, I'm telling you. We're gonna do a little bit of extra TLC on this. So he's here for a clutch and some oil leaks. He's had this car for a while. As you see, he's trying to keep the car nice. It needs a little bit of love, but you know what, it's his baby, and that's the way you gotta remember. Doesn't matter if you drive one of those things or drive one of those, they're just cars. I'm telling you this from experience. The person that owns that and the person that owns that loves it the same. Who cares if that costs $150,000 and this costs 10? It doesn't matter. Don't look at that guy like he must really love his car because he's got a ton of money in it. It just means that he spent a lot more money than you and is in more debt than you. I know from experience. This guy loves his car just as much as anybody else, and we're gonna love it too. So a little bit of extra on this one. We're gonna replace his clutch. We're gonna do a little bit of extra. Are you ready? It's our choice for engine bay cleaner right here. It's done an amazing job, and it'll take a lot of that flake off the valve cover, which we don't care about because we have plans for it. Yeah, watch this amazing transformation here in a minute. Hear it. All right, after a pressure wash, you can actually see what's going on now. It looks a whole lot better. We're going to fix a couple of oil leaks. Of course, we're going to do the clutch. The valve cover, I knew it was going to flake off worse. That's kind of why I hit it with a pressure washer, but there's more to come. This doesn't look real good. We're going to kind of address that, make that connection a little bit better. And intake looks good. I think we're going to replace this. This is freebies. I'm going to give him this stuff. So once in a while, we really like to just give some stuff away. Not that we kind of pick and choose, but sometimes people really need a hookup. You know what I mean? First thing to do is take the shifter out. And it doesn't feel too bad. It's got a little bit of play in there, but it feels smooth. Whenever we do a clutch, when we take the shifter out, we go ahead and clean it and re-grease it anyway. So after removing the console, you see how this is all like loose. It hasn't even been put back in. This ring is broken, so if you buy our shifter rebuild kit, the master kit, it comes with one of these. It comes with this boot that gets deformed, and it comes with a foam around here, which this one has completely disappeared. Shifter is out. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look like it's really worn or cracked or damaged, so we'll go ahead, take it apart, clean it up, re-grease it. So the clutch is in really rough shape, down to the rivets. It's damaged the pressure plate. Of course, it's getting a new slide, but the flywheel is beyond surfacing too, so that kind of sucks. Typically, what we do is we have some pre-surfaced flywheels, and then we switch yours out, basically take yours as a core, so we don't have the downtime taking them across town to surface. But this one is too bad. We can't use this one. Not only is it grooved beyond, it's got those stress cracks from overheating. So, you know what? If any of you guys have dealt with those, when you leave your parts behind and you say, guys, you can have those, something like this, if we can reuse it and give it to a customer, that's what we do. So this customer is the lucky recipient of a used AP1 flywheel that we're gonna give him for free. So the master cylinder was shot on this one too. It had absolutely no feel. So that kind of sucks. And like I told you, this guy's on a budget. He really doesn't want to get a call to say he owes money for a master. I mean, we call you first to let you know that you need stuff, but unfortunately this guy is maxed out. So there's another one of those freebies. This one's on us, buddy. So you know the valve cover looked like crap. So we have a better valve cover we're going to use. Also, his spark plug cover didn't look fantastic, and I don't really have a new one to give him. I mean, I can't give him another new one, but we do have another one that is in much better shape. This is one that we've kept to send out for powder coat, so I'm going to go ahead and refinish this, and then it'll go with the new valve cover we're about to give him. Almost every coil clip was busted. When I say every coil clip, almost every, I think it was absolutely every single one. Every single one busted, blown apart, which just sucks. You guys have seen this before. They do kind of get dry rotted on the earlier models. It seems like the blue clips do better.
Yeah, there's no middle and no clicker. But then cylinder 4, that's all that was on cylinder 4.
So that's going to cause you a misfire. That will give you issues. So it kind of sucks, but it's like, where does it end? You know, we're trying to do the right thing here. So we're gonna have to give him 4 coil clips, which they're already on there. So if you're enjoying this, don't forget, give us a thumbs up. And if you really want to help us out, send us coffee cards, because that keeps us motivated to do this kind of stuff. But it's one of those things, it comes back when you do the right thing by people, makes them happy, they send people to you, it just continues. It's kind of like free advertisement in a way. You're giving it away, but you're getting it back. So there's the valve cover. What do you think about that? I think it looks good in there. We think it looks good in there. This was one that we had, it's freshly painted, and it was for a car that didn't happen. So we're gonna go ahead and give it to this guy. It's a whole lot better than what he had. And then there's the spark plug cover. I just refinished it. So he wants a compression check. Let's go ahead and perform that. He just wants to make sure it's in good shape, and we can put this on and put our stainless bolts in and take it for a test drive. Alright, so compression is even across the board. We replaced the ground. It would randomly just hit the starter and the power would go off. So it goes from here over to here. We'll clean the terminal too, so now the power is stable. So what do you think? That look better? Valve cover makes the engine bay, doesn't it? Now we've got a fresh spark plug cover and it's sanded. We'll put our nice stainless bolts in there. Looks so much better. And of course the cleanup. Now we're just got to make sure it works. Now we've got our new ground on there. The engine starts every time. We'll just make sure that the adjustment is correct on the clutch. Make sure it feels good. To basically our preliminary braking, which is really overkill, but sitting with the car on the lift, wheels off the ground, it's kind of nice just to get a feel of it. So if you're keeping track at home, it came in for an FX300. We put a used flywheel in it, a new master, a new slave, 4 new coil clips. I used valve cover just because it looked like crap. Spark plug cover, refinished it. Valve cover gasket kit, which it needed, and the ground, which was funky, so we repaired that. So this is really starting to add up. Car came out so much better. Customer was happy. Sun is going down. It sucks this time of year. I drive to work in the dark and I tend to go home in the dark. Don't forget, November 21st, Hondas to Orlando. We're going to be there. George is going to be there. Esther is going to be there. Jeff might be there. Mike might be there. I'll be there and a whole bunch of other Honda enthusiasts. Also, October 8th next year, 2022, the LHT Classic Hondas and Dragon meet. It's going to happen again. More than likely going to happen at Fontana Dam. Set your calendars. We'll see you there. Don't forget, enjoy your cars and hit the subscribe. Help us grow.